Welcome to the Java Cafe, Java fam. Good morning. Welcome to the Java Cafe, Java fam.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Today is Wednesday, July 27th, 2022. And I'm just over 2 weeks in and getting the date right. So I'm proud of myself. And if you're not familiar with that, I used to forget the date in the announcement, typed it and forget the date. But I'm proud of myself for remembering. Listen, it's We Need to Know Wednesdays. And we are here today to talk about one of the electoral processes in the city that is very paramount to a lot of things that is going on in the state. And I said the city, but we're going to talk about the AG race and the AG forum that is being sponsored by the Black Economic Council of Massachusetts. I have their policy and advocacy lead who is on with me. And so I'm going to ask you to do me a favor and hit that share button and invite others into the room so they can hear about the forum and why it's important. Learn about Darian, who is our guest, and also Beckma. So without further ado, I would like to introduce to some and present to others this great young man that I've known for a while. We used to ride the train together, and he'll tell you more of his story or whatever. But Darian, welcome to the Java Cafe. It is an honor to see you in here, brother. Thank you to those that are listening on Twitter and Facebook. Go ahead and retweet and hit that share button as well. But Darian, introduce yourself, sir.
James, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be on this show. I mean, we've come a long way. I know James just mentioned on the T. When I came back from college, I was interning at the Dorchester District Court, and I would take the tea every morning and an afternoon, and I would see James, and we just talk all the time, and I've always been around community. I used to be around the Urban League a lot, just trying to get my name out. It was William Watkins over there who was really helpful in my career starting off, and I used to go to the Reggie Lewis Center a lot, and I was just trying to see a lot of good brothers out there and sisters that were out there looking out for me and trying to help me start my career off. I went to school in New York City, St. John's University in Queens. Shout out Red Storm. And making that transition from New York to Boston, I definitely needed to see what work was already being done there, and really just always been passionate about being around in community and being around people that were doing great work like you, James. So I'm here, and 6 years later after college, it's been an amazing ride, and I'm willing to talk about some of those things too. But that's a little bit of my start and how we actually got connected.
Yes, sir. And Darian is not giving himself enough credit. As you can see, he's a humble brother, but he's been involved with some very influential major campaigns, Elizabeth Warren and others. And definitely I've observed you through the years in the community. So when I heard about the transition and change going on over at Beckma and then heard that you were there, I was like, okay, all right, yep. This is going to be major. So shout out to the team at Beckman, Nicole, Jamie, Taisha, Nikisha, and I know I'm forgetting maybe some other people, but those are the folks that I've had the pleasure of talking with the last few days about this AG forum. But before we get into that, Nicole, who is your executive director, has been in the Java Cafe before, but tell us a little bit from your perspective, Darian, why you're at Beckma, and to you, what is the mission of Beckma?
Yep. So the first question, part of that is, I was working for Senator Elizabeth Warren for almost 5 years. Before that, I was like any other person just trying to figure out what they wanted to do. I worked in finance before that. I worked at KPMG and I worked at State Street. You may know Paul Francisco,
Yes.
somebody
Yep.
who really looked out for me during my time there. And it honestly really just, with like good work and good energy in the universe, like my dad took my resume from this one time. I left it in the car and put it in the state house, and I got a email from Senator Warren's office looking for to interview me. I didn't believe it at first. I was like, "Wait, is that really me?" Like, I don't think so. And my dad's like, "Oh yeah, put your resume in the state house." And I did an interview for almost about 2.5, 3 months, and then I got a call from the senator herself, and she was saying, "Hey, I would love you to join the team." And for nearly 5 years, I've seen politics in such a different way that I never thought I would, from her reelection campaign, presidential campaign, and also I worked in the office as her Boston director. So I've really been around politics a lot, but I was really, one thing about being a staffer, it's a humbling experience because you're behind the scenes seeing how things are happening, how politics is developing. And my last couple months, I helped volunteer the Mayor Wu campaign.
Yep.
And once that unraveled, I really sat back and thought about, my purpose and what I wanted to get out of it. And the one things that I was really thinking about, what really made me want to transition to BECMA, was one, I thought Nicole was she's a very innovative type of leader. She's really thoughtful, intentional about, what the team around us, what the team she was building, and she had a different vision of like what we can do. And I never, like, as someone who's always been around politics, I felt like I needed a different type of mindset to kind of find a new part of them. Like, I always like to think you're always learning, and I wanted to try to learn some, like, especially how we can help Black and brown folks. And also this opportunity, when I was in politics, there wasn't many Black legislators, people who really knew policy. And to be able to have an opportunity, Nicole allowing me the autonomy to help, figure out what our next mission is, what our policy, how driving our policy, I thought it was an opportunity I couldn't pass up. And I knew it was definitely nerve-wracking because you're going from behind the scenes into kind of public facing.
Public policy. I mean, you're out there now, brother.
Oh yeah. And that was really the thing that drove me to want to help BECMA. Join BECMA was really being an advocate for us. And I wanted to see that more, especially from a policy standpoint. Like, I wanted us, this is the quote I live by: the people closest to the pain, closest to the power. And I wanted to make sure that our voices across the state of Massachusetts, Black and brown folks, felt like they had a voice in government, and BECMA, we could be a beacon of hope for them. So that's a little bit of my story.
Absolutely. I love the correlation and the fact that you're able, it's obvious that your experience in working with Senator Warren and other positions, and then also having the experience in finance, brings you to the Black Economic Council of Massachusetts. So I definitely wanted people to hear a little bit about your story as they begin to see you in the community more. And we hopefully work together more to make sure that Black and brown, specifically Black owned businesses and entrepreneurs have the information and have the resources that's available from BECMA. We'll share the website and stuff later. But one of the things that BECMA is working on is making sure that these small business owners and residents in general participate in the electoral process. And there are 3 major offices that are up, quote unquote, you know how we talk in the political realm. There are 3 major offices that are up for grabs in Massachusetts. One is the gubernatorial, the other is the state secretary, and the other is the attorney general. And so BECMA is moving in the space of ensuring that residents hear from the attorney general. And there's an event this coming Thursday. And so tell us about the AG forum, the BECMA, and I'm going to let you guys know there is a hashtag. So if you are participating, which I hope that you will, especially the Java with Jimmy fam, we'll get into the specifics of that in a few minutes. But if you are going to participate in the AG forum, these are the hashtags: BECMA, of course, and then BECMA AG forum. But Darian, tell us why BECMA decided to go in the space of the AG forum or is it, you all may be working on a gubernatorial one as well. So, and I don't want to get the staff mad at me and say, no, we weren't planning that. But
Right.
anyway, go ahead, sir.
So the first thing I want to do, because I want to make sure I answer the other question before,
Yes.
is just about what BECMA is.
Yeah.
So BECMA's formed out of a 2015 The Color of Wealth report that found the median network of Black Bostonians is just $8. That's compared.
$8.
Yep.
Yes.
That's compared with more than 200,000 for a white Bostonian. Our mission is to close the racial wealth gap. And the way we look at that is through 4 pillars, which is entrepreneurship, which is helping support existing and new entrepreneurs in capital, and also being able to provide them resources that will help support their businesses. Placement, which is allowing, as you know, BECMA, and many of you may not know or may know, BECMA is a membership-based organization. And so our mission, we want to make sure we can bring all 2,000 Black and brown small businesses into our organization. And so what we also do is we want to make sure they have voices. So placing them on commissions and boards, and anytime they can have an opportunity to use their voices in their communities, we want to make sure we can put them in those opportunities. So we really look at those ways of helping small business owners. And then ownership. We all know, many of us know that home ownership is a key to creating generational wealth. And a lot of our work that we're trying to do as well is making sure our business owners and small businesses can be able to own the property that they do their work on, and also be able to own their individual property for themselves. And then the last pillar is commerce, which is contracts, like helping our small businesses be able to get contracts with different organizations, institutions, and also getting different projects so for their businesses to thrive. So that's our mission, and that's why events like this, like the Attorney General Forum, are key to our mission. We want underrepresented communities to have equitable say in what policies and decisions are made by state leaders, and we can only do that by gathering everyone together in a room for these important conversations.
And I see here on the website, this is where you can go to get the information. The website is becma.org, BECMA.org. So I just wanted folks to get a glimpse of the website so they're familiar with it. There's some familiar faces who have been in the Java Cafe. Our Congresswoman Presley there before. The former executive director has definitely been, in the Java Cafe before and been a great supporter as well. So I'm definitely familiar and a member of BECMA myself. So Darian, and I know, time is kind of short, but yeah. So that is the mission of BECMA. And one of the ways is voices. And so we're bringing voices, or actually our ears, into the, and I believe it's the Norfolk. Remind me of the location on Thursday.
Northern Essex Community College in Lawrence.
Essex, yes. So this Thursday, might as well put the flyer up now. This Thursday, one of the things that BECMA is doing to raise voices, I would say even ears, because we're going to hear from the candidates for AG, is this Thursday evening, there will be the BECMA Attorney General Forum that is taking place at the Northern Essex Community College. That's going to begin at 6:30 p.m. And you will be able to watch virtually on Facebook, YouTube via BECMA. Java with Jimmy is one of the media partners. You see these other major media outlets there, and then you see the 2Js there next to NBC 10 and Telemundo. So we're honored to be a part of it. And so what can we look for on Thursday? What is, the vision for Thursday in hearing from our Attorney General candidates?
Well, first and foremost, I want to talk about kind of the thought process a little bit of how we got there.
Okay.
Because I think that's really important. I think, James, we've been in Boston, we've been around here for such a long time.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I've always been fascinated about was how Black and brown folks engage regionally. Like, I've always felt like, a lot of people think that sometimes Boston is, the center. Yeah. And yes, Boston has a lot to say. But we have the Merrimack Valley, we have Springfield, Western Mass, Cape and Islands, and South Shore. And these communities interact so differently politically.
Yeah.
And when I first came in, I had a real strong interest in coming into the Merrimack Valley. the Merrimack Valley went through a Columbia gas explosion 2 years ago, and then went through a pandemic. And the resiliency of the community was just, I was really fascinated by how the community kind of came together to support themselves. And I remember thinking about this, and I called my good friend Anthony Davis.
Shout out to Anthony, who's in the room.
Anthony Davis from the Davis system, and another friend of mine, Nairobi Sanchez. And I said, hey, I think we should really do something in the Merrimack Valley. I think this is a really important community. It's a new district, Haverhill, Lawrence, Methuen. And I said this would really help elevate this community and show what's been on in Lawrence. And Anthony was like, let's do it. I think it's a great idea. And it took me a couple months to really get it off the ground, but I really think this is an opportunity to share what's been happening in Lawrence. But also when we go into communities of color, it helps, engage a voting base that has historically felt that government hasn't been there on their side. And so I'm really
We got Darian a little spotty with the connection, but I'm sure he'll loop around and be right back. Darian, you got a little spotty with the connection, and I think can somewhat finish what he was going to say. We may have to get him back in. Darian, if you can, or Anthony, text Darian for me and let him know that maybe. Oh, there we go. We got you right back, sir. We lost you.
Sorry.
Yeah. You lost you at the importance of bringing it to Lawrence and highlighting there. I want to make sure that people hear why we're in that. And also, I told Darian when I worked for Mayor Menino, I can see how Central and Western Mass feels often like East Boston did. Roxbury, Dorchester, Mattapan is in the center of Boston, and they got a lot of attention. And East Boston often felt that they were way out in the island. So I can appreciate the fact that you're intentional about Central and Western Mass as well.
No, thank you. And I know we kind of got caught off a little bit, but I think I left off at this part where I was taught when I was doing outreach into the community of Lawrence. I was going out there for events, and I was talking about the idea, and they were like, wow, like I didn't think we were, I didn't think we were going to have a statewide forum. I didn't think that was a thing that was going to happen in our community. That was just the perfect reason to do an event of that nature, because that is something that helps people seek that understanding and awareness of how government works. And we're really excited to be able to bring such a conversation there, especially, and also being mindful that our organization is in Boston, but we service the state. And so when you're making those kind of inroads into different communities, being very sensitive and intentional about how you interact and engage with people and talking to those leaders in the community really made this event happen for us. And can't believe how far we've come, but I'm so excited that we get to, Lawrence allowed us to be able to come into the community and be able to have a conversation of this magnitude.
And all three of the candidates are confirmed to be there, correct?
Correct. And it was actually, I want to give a shout out to all those candidates too and their staff, because logistically they made it happen. And it's very hard to get candidates that busy.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really excited that we were able to bring such amazing candidates into this conversation. But I do want to spend some time and talk about a little bit about what attorney general is, because sometimes I think that's another question that people ask is like, what are the attorney generals? Who are they, what they do?
Let's go.
The attorney general is the top legal officer in the Commonwealth. They act as the people's lawyer or the state civil rights attorney and can investigate crimes, civil rights violations, workplace concerns, and consumer issues. The attorney general can also bring about lawsuits or charges on the behalf of people. For example, the current attorney general, Maura Healey, sued Columbia Gas for tens of millions of dollars following the explosion. She also took on big pharmaceuticals for the role in the opioid epidemic and held companies accountable for predatory lending tactics that took advantage of hardworking people. So it's really important before people vote in September that they get to hear from the candidates on what issues they plan to tackle, and vice versa. The people of Merrimack should let the candidates know what their concerns are on the top of their mind. So I'm really excited to kind of break that down, like explain that a little bit, and really understand a tool in government, like an ability that the state leader, like Attorney General, has to help protect the people in the Merrimack Valley, the community in the Merrimack Valley. So
it is definitely, I've seen now, she's also now gubernatorial candidate,
yes,
Maura Healey, but I've seen her active around that unfortunate situation in Merrimack Valley with the explosion, and then also with the pharmaceutical companies. And so this is the office that basically it is the top law enforcement officer basically for the state. And so there are 3 candidates running. We do, want to at least mention their names that would be in the room. Shannon, Lisa,
Liz Reardon. Yeah.
Yes, that one. Oh, Liz Raren. Okay, my eyes and seeing this flyer on screen. Thank you, sir. Quentin Palfrey and also Andrea Campbell. Yep. We would be remiss if we did not mention the other partners that were a part of this. Our E for All in Merrimack Valley, also the Lawrence Partnership, and also the Davis System, Anthony Davis and Aaron Douglas as well. And so we definitely want to mention them. And so because I'm involved, I'm aware, and we can share a little bit that, like, this isn't going to be a regular forum where all 3 of them are on stage talking back and forth. Like, this is going to be more of an intimate one-on-one sort of interview with each of the 3 of them, correct?
Yes, it is. And James, you hit it right there in the sense of we didn't when we were talking about this, we thought debate makes it to the interactive of the candidates.
Yes.
And we wanted to make sure that you heard from each individual candidate.
Say that again. And I'm putting you on.
We wanted you to hear from each individual candidate what is happening, what do they stand for, how can they represent you. That was something we were really intentional about. And also, the way it's going to work too is each of the partner organizations are going to have it's going to be a partner organization interviewing a candidate. Okay. So it's going to be really intimate. I think you're really going to hear a lot. You're going to hear a lot from what each candidate has to say. And there's also going to be a chance for the audience too, who are there, and to ask questions too as well. And I just wanted to put that there. But I'm really excited because I think those are the conversations that you get the most out of, right? Yeah. When a candidate can talk to you without having to kind of think about what the other person's saying, right? That's something that
they may say they got to perform, and
right. It's not it's not going to be very theatrical in that sense, like, oh, I have to counter something. It's like, these are the questions, I have to answer them truthfully in order for you to understand me, and also would you be willing to support me?
Absolutely. And so we just want to remind folks that this is taking place tomorrow evening out at the Northern Essex Community College. You are able to watch here online. It will be broadcast on NBC, Telemundo, and also Java with Jimmy online. Again, the partners are E for All, Lawrence Partnership, and also the Davis System. And this is being sponsored by BECMA and the 2000 organization, or the 2000 small business entities that are a part of it as well, in making sure that we are familiar with all 3 of these candidates. Don't forget that you can go register. And Darian, your eyes a little bit better than mine, but that is case sensitive bit.ly, bit.ly / that looks like that says 3RAWNFM. That one right there. But if you see the flyer, I'll make sure I put it on my page. I think it's already on there across all 3 platforms. But go ahead and register. And Java with Jimmy is honored to be a part and partner with BECMA. Shout out to Anna Maven, who made that connection as well, and worked with Anthony. I've known you for years, and then with Nikisha and Jamie and whatnot. This is really going to be awesome tomorrow to make sure that we get this information out, because this is one of the top 3 state positions. And right now, with everything that's going on with race reckoning, though we're not centered in Boston, it probably is going on in other parts of the state. We have white supremacists that are being emboldened and marching. And so it is the Attorney General that could work with the legislature around how we handle that.
Right.
There's the ARPA money. God forbid if someone is using the ARPA money wrong. It's
Right.
the attorney general that.
And also, I think one of the things too is immigration.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's one that in particular that is going to be really important. Immigrant protections, especially around for, a community like Lawrence that has a heavy immigration population. This is where that disconnect, I feel like,
Yeah.
I was saying earlier, from government is like, does government work for me? And so it's really going to be important, I think, for a candidate tomorrow to really explain, like, I'm here for you, and this is how I'm going to do it.
Listen, I'm excited about Thursday, and and I often, one of the tenets of the Java with Jimmy family is civic engagement and mobilization. So hopefully, not hopefully, I know folks will tune in and maybe not come out there, but they'll tune in virtually. But if you do want to come out, just let us know, email us just so we can, we'll register first of all on the link there, and I'll make sure that I reshare it on the Java with Jimmy page. Darian, is there anything that we forgot to mention? Either about Thursday or anything coming down the line with Beckma?
Honestly, I just want to take 1 second to say, please, this is an event you really don't want to miss. I think one thing I've learned in my time in politics is the more you're engaged and active about what's happening, you're able to be aware of the things around you a lot better. My mom's from Trinidad.
Wait, hold on. We'll deviate real quick. You're Trinidadian?
Yes.
I just have one word for you. Kuchala.
Okay.
Bro, we need to see. I knew you were a good dude. Yeah. Well, okay. Getting back on message. I'm sorry. That just, yeah.
No, we gonna have to offline that one for sure.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And one of the best things that's ever happened to me, not even professionally, was watching my mom, someone who, she watched a lot of TV, we have a lot of time together. But when I started working in politics, seeing her become more active in it and going, Jane, what's up with the student loans? What's going on with student loans? What's happening with the governor's race? Like, it can really change can happen right in front of you. Yeah. I always say that politics is so local. And I got to see that firsthand from my mom and how engaged she is now and how she's paying attention to things. So shout out to my mom and my family out there. And I really strongly urge for people to please take it, take a chance to RSVP, take some time to RSVP and really be a part of this. You have James is someone who I've known for a very long time. And if he's saying you got to be there and I'm saying you got to be there, please be there. So that's one of the biggest things we're happening right now for Beckma is we are really, been putting a lot of our energy and time into this. And we want to really show you all and be able to help community become more civically engaged.
Absolutely. And even if you're talking online about it today, or if you share, I would encourage you to go ahead and share today's broadcast and use these hashtags, Beckma and Beckma AG Forum. And we'll get more information and we'll share it again today and tomorrow as well to make sure you're reminded. And don't forget to tune in here or on NBC or Telemundo. I have to say also that Beckma, we showed just the English version today, but there's a Spanish version as well. And so if you would like that, you can, I'll post that flyer as well. And I think we're good. We will see each other tomorrow afternoon out in Lawrence. I'm looking forward to this. It's one of the first of bigger projects I've had on the AV side. And so I think Beckma, for this. Yeah, man, I thank you for the opportunity. We're stretching ourselves just a little bit. And so, man, I appreciate the opportunity and being able to talk with you today. And Anthony, I love you, brother, and appreciate you, man. Darian, I think that's it, man. I'm going to go pay a couple of bills via some advertisement. And if anything comes up, you have the information, let me know. And I really appreciate you with the day before an event, taking the time. And as Pastor Marion says here, she's saying thank you. Because I know the day before a big event like that, your eyes or attention rather is focused on making sure that we get the community as much information as possible in a spirit of excellence. So thank you for the time that you spent with us today to make sure that the word gets out.
And thank you. And I would be remiss to say thank you so much, James. I mean, you allowed me to come on your platform and also be able to engage with a new, different type of audience for those who might not know me. And it's about, something I learned from my mentor is passing it forward, passing opportunities and different places to put people in great positions. You know, I was in the church, you know, I grew up a lot around the church, and I think those humble beginnings and just being able to know that your community is right beside you if you make the effort. So thank you for giving me this chance to talk with your to come on your platform and talk. You've done so much for the community, and you make time for things that are the most important, and this is one of those times. So thank you.
Darian, thank you, man. I'm gonna get you off my screen before you make me turn as red as this shirt. But I appreciate you, man, and I'll see you tomorrow afternoon.
All right, James. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Bye now.
Listen, everyone, make sure that you go back if you just joined or joined late. Go back and watch this segment with Darian talking about the not just the forum tomorrow, but also with Beckma. Shout out to Galvin that's in the room. Good to see you in the room, bro, and everybody else that's been in today and learned about this. Make sure you plan on tuning in tomorrow. I mean, Java with Jimmy is on the same media platform with NBC 10 and Telemundo. We're doing a couple of things. We're percolating, and so it's definitely a great opportunity. And thank you all for being a part of it and riding this journey with me. I told you there's some things percolating, and slowly but surely, I heard from one of the news stations yesterday, so we're just waiting on a date. But one of the other things that yours truly is doing before I let you guys go, don't forget Monday night. If you did not see, and I would bring up a clip real quick, but you know how sometimes things act up here. But while I'm talking, let me see if I can bring up a clip. We are doing the Mayor's Gospel Choir for the Gospel Fest. And so we want to encourage those of you that sing. And I'll we're saying those of you that sing, but if you can hold a note. But it is a very it's one rehearsal Monday, and that's it. And Monday is not really going over teaching again. We're going to review, but Monday is like the final rehearsal. We have to go over setup and all this other stuff. And so please make sure that you consider being with us on Monday at 7 p.m. August 1st at Morning Star Baptist Church. I have the honor and privilege of working with the talented, anointed, gifted Danny Rivera Jr. I'm going to try to see if I can just share a little clip from a different one from what I showed you guys the other day. Let me see if I can get this together here. Where is a clip from the other day? Let's see what this does. All right. Let's see if we can make this happen, just to give you an idea of what was going on in rehearsal. All right, here we go. Share screen. There it is. Let's see what happens here, y'all. I don't know. Oh, that's not the right. See, this is why. Let me get the other video up. Oh, I think this is it, y'all. We'll see what happens. Okay, this is a little bit of it. Your boy's directing here. So let's get this shared with you all, and we'll get ready to let you go. But here's a clip from rehearsal on Monday evening. All right, we're going to wrap it up right after this last part. All right, folks. That's just a little clip from the community choir for Gospel Fest. So come out, help us be a part. That's it for me today. Don't forget the forum on Thursday. We will be there live at 6:30 p.m. on the Java with Jimmy platform, Telemundo, and NBC 10 as well. Go ahead and register. The flyer is on the Java with Jimmy page. Last announcement, don't forget this coming Wednesday at the Bruce Bowling Building at 6 p.m. August 3rd, we are having the second listening session for the Black Men's and Boys Commission. We're having a listening session, so come out and be a part of that. Black men and boys, come out. Black men and boys, come out to Bruce Bowling next Wednesday evening at 6 p.m. All right, that's it for me, everybody. Thank you all for tuning in. Don't forget, Thursday evening, tomorrow's Thursday. You'll be just with me tomorrow, and we'll wrap up for the week. And that's it. I'm getting ready to meet with you guys, your boy, Props, and get some things in order for the platform. And we'll see you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Have a great day, everybody. Peace.